there is no intro. Although I guess there kinda is. Welcome back to a lot more rapid fire Untitled at this time alcohol review show. I don't know where my mics are, so we're just gonna go off my phone. It's gonna look a little wonky. I don't care. The setup for these videos should be like 5 seconds, especially when it comes to how much I have to drink today. Oh, and the theme of the episode are popular whiskeys that a lot of people talk about and most of the time give themselves to being the intro into this hobby. Yeah, I changed the order in the next shot to make it look prettier. What of it? And this time around, we're only drinking these bad boys one way. And that's neat. It's neat or nothing. It's neater, nerfing nothing. Alrighty, the first one up is the Jimmy Beam. You know, speaking of Jimbo, Jimmy. Speaking of old Jimbo Neutron, I think it's only suited that we try our Jimmy Beam and a Jimmy. I think it's only suited we try our Jimmy Beam and a Jimmy Neutron Welch's Jar collectible. You guys remember Aaron Carter? Aaron Carter's. I'm spending too much time on Jimmy time.
There was a little Spanish flea, a record star, he thought he'd be. He heard of singers like Beatles, the Chipmunks.
The morning I turned 21, I had a small shooter of Jim Beam. My plan was I had bought Red Dead Redemption 2 the previous day because that came out recently. So what I wanted to do was drink Jim Beam whiskey and play some Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm getting a super familiar burn. Quarter horse, it's more balanced like 10 cup, but it's not a rye, so there's more oakiness to it. If anything, it's like if you blended Jack Daniels with just a touch of quarter horse, because it's oaky, but it's really balanced when it comes to its dryness. I'm sipping out of a Jimmy Neutron Welch's jar that's never been cleaned.
Oh, that's nasty.
Buffalo Trace, 45% alcohol by volume. It is also a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It was established right before the US actually, so it's one of the oldest whiskeys. A very popular starter whiskey right now. It has a huge podcast endorsements, obviously the history behind it, and the name, it shares the same name as...
Do you wanna go with me to casino? Do you wanna go with me to casino? Do you wanna go with me to
And if we could be real for a minute, there's a reason why they're so popular. These guys, and they make it these guys. And these guys are popular because of John Wick. They appear in John Wick, Jimmy Jones. But yeah, and this is also super expensive. Let's try that. Here's to pouring too much. Here's to not hitting record when you think you did. To giving this whole speech a second time because you forgot to hit record on the audio. Cheers, Buffalo Trace. I know I forgot to do that with Jimmy. Leave a comment. Right off the bat, there's way more of an upfront burn when it comes to Buffalo Trace. You do get this nice oakiness on the back end that kind of ties in the burn that's given up front. Okay, look, I am a hack, but I'm trying to explain what I've experienced. So first, the burn. Let's relate this to a Buffalo. Let's take another sip of alcohol. That was a big sip. I tasted nothing. I tasted nothing because I just gulped it down. What is wrong with me? Super mellow. When it first hits your lips, you hit the dryness, and as it goes through, oakiness hits hard. It's dry, it's oaky, and on the back end, the dryness just comes out. I think I just used the same combination of 3 different words in a different order. It's more complex than Jim Beam, but doesn't pass Jim Beam, in my opinion. Buffalo Trace is the popular option. I would have to say as just a cheap, easy go-to, I think I would probably grab the Jim Beam before the Buffalo Trace. Or would I? Like I said, it does have this complex flavor, Just for me, if it's something to sit by the fire in the summer, I'd probably go with Jim Beam over Buffalo Trace. If I'm looking to be a little bit more fancy, I would go with Buffalo Trace. If I'm going good blends, reliable, like Coca-Cola, or for me Diet Coke, I'd go Jim Beam. If I'm looking for a Mr. Pibb, something more complex, the Gentleman's Drink has a bit of history behind it. My Pibb Extra is going to be Buffalo Trace. Our next whiskey is Old Granddad Bonded High Rye Mash Bill. This is 100 proof, which is exactly what you want to try at the end of a 3 whiskey Untitled review. This one's popular because it's cheaper, because it's a higher proof for a cheaper price. Let's see if I can taste the proof after going through some heavy pours and contaminated Welch's jars from the early 2000s. This is special because it was my grandfather's glass. I'm going to use it to try Old Granddad Straight Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey Rye Mash Bill Bonded 100 proof. Old Granddad, I'm telling you right now, you're in a pretty big cup, but let me tell you, I can smell you from here. You say this isn't a cup, this is a gauntlet. No, this isn't a gauntlet, it's a goblet. You know what, before I even sip this, I want to see what proof these bad boys are. Buffalo Trace, 90 proof. And Jimmy Beam himself is only 80. This one's for you, Papa. This is like if Everclear said, hey, you know, it's been a long day. How about we take a jacuzzi and a bourbon barrel? Let's have a few dry martinis and chew on some oak chips while we're at it. Question is, why do I love it? This is delicious. This is like a blue slushie with flaming hot fries. Okay, after a long day working security, and all you want to do, is sit down and watch Peaky Blinders. Grandpa! 7 minutes of talking. Put your glasses back on. Yeah, all the alcohols were good. The video's over now. Go Team Venture.